Friday. Well, my name is Ijoma Uche. In a very short while, I'm going to introduce the people that will join me to look at what the papers are saying in the program Press Review. Good morning. Okay, welcome again. Joining me this morning is AGK Abata. AGK is our public affairs analyst. Good morning, AGK.
Good morning, glad to be here.
Longest time. Happy New Year. I don't think I've seen you this year.
No, we've not met this year.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And then Comrade Dominic Okabwe. Comrade Dominic Okabwe is also a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Dom.
Good morning,
Good
and
to have you here.
thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigerians.
Thank you. Okay. As usual, we're going to begin from our website to find out the stories that are trending there. And the first story there says Anambra State Government commences capacity building program for Ocha Brigade personnel. 2 women jailed for abduction of children, others in Anambra. Anambra State Government rewards best yam farmer with 1 million naira. Anambra State Government commences training on use of anti-shock garments. These and many more are the stories you'll find from our website this morning, www.absradiotv.com. Welcome again. Yes, gentlemen, let me begin with you, Ejika Bata. The other day was a student wing of Ocha Brigade, and then a whole lot of things playing out to ensure that we have a good environment. What do you have to say about this?
For every organization, there's a need for training and retraining of staff members of such an organization for optimal service delivery. So what Ocha Brigade has done is not out of place. It's encouraging for them to train their personnel. If you're opportune to see the activities of some of their members, especially in market areas, you begin to wonder if these people are human at all. But this training, I believe, and I want to believe, will make them see reasons why they should jettison the way they act as it is now, and also put in their best in the discharge of their duties. Some of them, if you meet them at road junctions, some of them who work as traffic wardens are just there begging for money. It's a slap on the face of the government, because they are representing the government, and people who come in or who pass through Anambra State, it's an eyesore seeing them in uniform begging for money from commuters, not just Ocha Brigade personnel, even ATMA personnel as well. So the training, it's a good one. It's a move in the right direction. It's very, very necessary, so that they should know their responsibility and also carry out that responsibility to the best of their ability. I also want to believe that government will also support them in terms of whatever they need to carry out their responsibilities as well.
Okay, don't even want to come in here because just like he pointed out, I think there's sometimes these guys help in generating traffic by the way they control. Some are begging money, some are controlling, passing those they perceive that could bring money, and then they stop you abruptly. What is about that?
Okay, just like my colleague have said, is a very welcome development, because it's part of the governor's call for law and order. You see, if you must have a sanitized society, you must also equip your personnel and ensure that they comply with the code of conduct or the ethics of their job as provided by the law. And we see over for some period now, there has been ugly statement or ugly development in the Ocha Brigade. Some are alleging that they are becoming too arrogant and terrorizing the people, depending on the angle, but I believe that the government of Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo is a government of law and order, and I think that is in line with the ongoing personnel, training and the what have you. So I believe at the end of the day, we'll have a better Osha Brigade and a better society and a better Anambra.
Okay, thank you very much. 2 women jailed for abduction of children, others in Anambra. Sometimes I don't like reading this kind of news out, so that it wouldn't look like we're always in the news for the bad reason. What do you think that is going on? There is this issue of you have money in Anambra State as taking on the ritual. From Anambra.
Yes, we are not surprised. A state like Anambra is known for both good and bad. If you have a progressive state, you also have people who are also doing the other way around. Do you understand? The incident of child abduction has been on the increase since a few years ago. Anambra is not exceptional, though the cases of abduction of children is not only traceable to the state, but what it shows that Anambra security is very active, because when an incident took place and the police, became very active, and arrests were made, news will carry it. But in so many areas, such a thing are still happening, but there was no prompt response. And as a matter of fact, there may not have been any arrest, and because there was no arrest, there may not be any reports. So I think it's not peculiar to Anambra, but because Anambra has been proactive in fighting them, that is why you are seeing it as a news.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a good angle. Okay. And then the state government rewards best yam farmer with 1 million naira. Good news. I think I'll go into farming too. Who knows what I'll bring out.
To farming. And I don't think people still need to be told to go into farming, even if it's subsistence farming, not commercial or large-scale farming. Given the trends we are in now, kudos to the past governor who initiated Uba Zona before he left, as if he saw what was coming. So nobody needs to be told to go into farming to be able to sustain himself or the family, because the economy, we do not know where the economy is heading to. Well, we know where the economy is heading to, because we can't continue to live in denial. We know where the economy is heading to. We just don't know when the economy will be revived. So the cash award to the farmer, it's an encouragement. It also encourage others to also go into farming and also try to produce the best products.
Okay, thank you. For want of time, let's look at the papers now. Daily Sun is our first paper this morning. Beside the next template of the Daily Sun, I have this story that says Ohanes Islam security agencies over extortion on Southeast roads. Just as we are talking, security agencies extorting the Southeasterners. That's what we have here. And then the banner headline on the Daily Sun says Mangu killings. Defense headquarters fumes. Invites CAN leadership orders over allegation against personnel. Okay, and down here, Tinubu owes us explanation on NNPCL 3.3 billion naira emergency loan. This is coming from Atiku. Insecurity, state place remains pernicious, says Castina Governor. Lagos considers setting up airlines, to begin construction of airport. Planned relocation of MDAs, northern senators clash. Wow, I like to hear this. Okay. And what other story do we still have here? Supreme Court affirms Governor Kefas Aliyu February's election. FCT kidnapping. The military deploys special forces to comb Abuja forest for terrorists and bandits. Sounds funny. Police rescue 14 victims, kill abductor, and then injures cause. Okay. Another story here, another paper now is Punch. The Punch newspaper, Tinubu Monix is the headline there. Federal government differs as NLC says reforms killing Nigerians. Tinubu Monix, federal government differs as NLC says reforms killing Nigerians. With some writers there, listening to IMF, World Bank has never helped Nigeria. NLC President Tinubu. I think they're right there. President determined to make life better for citizens, says Information Minister. Okay, you're doing your job. Okay, Customs seized 4 billion naira cocaine arms from South Africa. These are the major stories coming from the Punch newspaper. Daily Independent is our next paper. Okay, the Daily Independent, ethnic cleansing ongoing in Plateau community. State government says this. Okay, good thing that the state government is now talking. Okay, the writer says police arrest 17 suspects of attacks, killings, recover 10 fresh bodies, dangerous weapons. Defense headquarters DHQ cautions against spreading falsehood on truths. But that young man was talking with evidence. Okay, we're going to come to that. Federal government 2014 budget targets hangs on sound fiscal monetary policies. Experts ask CBN to independently pursue inflation goals. Other stories coming from this very busy front page paper. TCM blends gas constraints for low power generation into grid. And then what other stories is of interest here? None. Okay, Nation newspaper before we start talking, gentlemen. The Nation newspaper. Government labor minimum wage talks for March. Government labor minimum wage talks for March. Okay, while Supreme Court affirmed February Kefas Aliyu victories. Okay, but the banner headline there says power supply worsens as generation drops to 3,134 megawatts. How come when they are injecting 40 megawatts newly? Okay, TCM blends gas shortage, 30 megawatts coming from Kashambila. Enugu community stores multi-billion naira power projects. I think it's been unbundled, so go generate your own power. All right, gentlemen, Mango killings. The gentleman's, one man's, Plateau man's video started trending yesterday, where he was accusing the government, especially the security agencies, that they are behind this. Okay, we'll call you when these guys will come. You will not come, and even when you do, you only come to protect us from attacking them. Okay, but this time around, we're activating our self-defense mechanism, which is also enshrined in the Constitution. Since you can't defend us, let us defend ourselves. And down here at which paper, Daily Independence, is ethnic cleansing ongoing in Plateau communities. Let's join these stories and see if we can make sense what is actually going on there. Ejike, I'm starting with you.
Well, I feel for the people of the Plateau. It's been long. Some of us experienced similar things happening in Plateau. It's unfortunate what is happening in that area, and whether we like it or not, the citizens of Plateau are helpless. Plateau is like a place where there is no government, and it is not the fault of the people. The government the duty or responsibility of the government is to protect lives first, then properties. But they're not even protecting the lives in Plateau. And this has been ongoing for several years. And if at all some persons are apprehended, they are later released. If at all they are apprehended, they are later released. Nobody has been jailed or prosecuted for what is going on in Plateau. So it is like something that is orchestrated, it is well planned and well organized. That is why it has festered for quite a long time. And the people of the Plateau are helpless. I know whoever, in as much as elections come and go in Plateau State, whoever is the governor in that state would always want to leave as soon as possible. If not for the sit-tight syndrome we have in Africa. Because no governor will say he enjoys being a governor in Plateau. Because even the governor himself is handicapped. Because there's little or nothing he can do. The only thing he can do is to cry to Abuja. And even at that, he doesn't have the final say in terms of giving directive to the military or security agencies. So they are helpless in Plateau. And these things have continued for a long time, and there seems to be no respite in sight. So how long will it continue? Of course, the only thing remaining is for them to defend themselves. That is where it is, and this may lead to anarchy. If that is allowed to happen, it may lead to anarchy. But you don't bring a fight to me. If I'm in my house and you bring a fight to me, you don't expect me not to defend myself. And it is said that the best form of defense is attack. So one needs to be proactive. You don't sit back and wait for them to attack you before you think of what to do. And they made complaints over and over and over, and nothing is being done. I seriously feel for the people in Plateau State. If you chase them out of their land, where do you expect them to go? So government really needs to look into the problem in Plateau State. If it's a case of resource control, let us know where the resources is and know who should be in control of the resources. It's not as if we only have oil, because everybody is dependent on, there's gold in Zamfara. Federal government is not even bothered about the gold in Zamfara. Some people are mining it illegally. There's one in Plateau. People are mining it illegally. And it's one of the reasons why we have this problem in Plateau State. So a lot needs to be done. People in Plateau State should feel secured in their home states.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, Dom, let's also delve more on this, because from this story, they say that the military is inviting CAN leadership to come and explain, because there have been so many allegations coming up from that quarters. The church is saying that place is a Christian-dominated area. So the church is saying, you are trying to wipe us because we are Christians. So that man that was talking on that video yesterday also said that, is it because we produce the governor? A whole lot of things. And then somebody suggested state police. That's going to be the solution to all these killings and problems, security problems we're having. Why? Because Ejike has just established that the governors are handicapped. They can't even command the police and the army.
It's a very sorrowful and an unfortunate incident that people have decided to play politics with people's life. It's quite unfortunate. There was a capture there, ethnic cleansing. The problem that has existed in Plateau State is ethnic related, ethnic sentiment. You know that this struggle between Muslim and the Christians, and it seems the Christians are dominating. Just like you pointed out, the current governor seems to be a Christian, and the other party, they are not satisfied. But for me, I think human lives are very important than politics. Just like you pointed out, the current constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria we are using, okay, everything centers on the federal government, security of life and property. And virtually there's nothing the state governors can do. In extreme cases, if you said, okay, let's adopt self-defense mechanism, it is an indirect way of returning back to the state of anarchy, the state of, the state of anarchy, yes. Then everybody was defending himself. But with this new social contract theory, the people had to surrender their rights to the government for them to provide security of life and property in return. Unfortunately, the government is failing in that angle. You see, people may not understand this particular aspect of our discourse, because when it happens to another person, you may not feel the impact, but when it happens to you, you fully understand, the pains. What is happening in Plateau is highly condemnable. The federal government must have to step up, and unfortunately, when you say the truth, they will come against you. The current president who spoke has an evidence. The first headquarter, they're inviting him because they want to induce fear on those who have something to say, yes, relating to the matter.
Exactly.
But as a brave Nigerian, as a patriotic Nigerian, it doesn't matter where you are called to defend yourself. What is important is that we are saying the truth.
You can only die once.
Do you understand? Nobody will die twice. So it's a very condemnable incident, and the federal government must do everything humanly possible to stop that, abuse of power. You can't be defending one people and you are leaving the other people to, to face whatever that comes to their way.
Okay. Thank you very much. Still coming to you. Haneza Slum Security Agencies over extortion on Southeast roads. The cry has always been out there that is only here that you have all these roadblocks.
Of course, everybody knows. Anambra is interested in governors this issue of law and order. Do you understand? Anambra is known to be a porous state where anybody comes and everything goes. Do you understand? Haneza was very right when they said, the extortion, roadblocks, and what have you. Even in the north, where we have this kind of insecurity, all this insecurity, the herdsmen and what have you, we don't have this kind of, roadblocks, extorting people. Yes, I believe if you see a policeman on the road, you have that, if you have that, sympathy, okay, empathy, what have you, can appreciate the person. But not to the extent of making it as a compulsory or mandatory. You must.
And then costing traffic jam. If you don't bring it, you will not go.
Okay.
I know, and the traffic will just
this last Christmas or New Year, if you are going through Amobia, you will be there for more than 30 minutes. If you get to the point to discuss what is happening, nothing will be happening. Just
roadblocks.
Okay, so it is very uncalled for and has to be, addressed.
Okay, thank you very much. Ejike Tinubu owes us explanation on NNPCL, $3.3 billion emergency loan. This is coming from Atiku. The letter, the press statement trended yesterday. I saw it where he was analyzing, and I'm not sure you saw it too, where he was analyzing this loan and what it's supposed to be. So do you think he is right? And do you see presidency, not just Tinubu, coming out to defend this, because that's the next thing you hear?
Why won't they come out to defend it? They must have start and discussed about it, and knowing that the kind of reactions it will generate from Nigerians, they would have readied themselves to give us their own line of defense. It's as far as I'm concerned, it's too early in the day. We can't continue to live on borrowing. It seems every other person who wants to be in control of power or in control of the government of Nigeria wants to come in and start borrowing. The money that is being borrowed, how much has the government been able to generate aside taxes? Because of course people will pay tax, but which other areas have they been able to create so that they will be able to generate funds to run the country aside borrowing? So we keep on borrowing, and our debt profile keeps increasing. And it's unfortunate. The whatever they said they are going to use the monies for, at the end of the day, if you sit back and begin to and look at this thing, you discover that these things were never done. If the federal government could have approved 3 or 4 billion naira just to cost check a register for people who will be given money by the federal government. So what would they do with the money that has been mentioned now? So there are things you hear in Nigeria, and you tend to dip your 2 fingers into your ears, because such things are not obtainable in other climes. But we let go of such things here, because everybody tends to mind their own business, and even if you talk, it's as if they wait for you to talk, and at the end of the day, they still go ahead and do what they want to do. So borrowing is not the issue. What are you borrowing for? What do you intend to use the money? Are you borrowing?
And once you borrow, what did you do?
What did you use the once you borrow? What did you use them for? If you are borrowing to build roads, if you are borrowing to build factories or industries, if you are borrowing to invest, that makes sense to us. But if you are borrowing to pay some persons or pay or clear your own debts, it doesn't make sense at all.
Okay, thank you. Let's look at the rest of the papers and see where we can get something different to talk about. Guardian newspaper, please. Guardian newspaper. The Guardian. On ease of doing business. How checkpoints, bad roads, block trade, spike inflation is the banner headline on the Guardian newspaper. Atiku queries $3.3 billion emergency loan. What was it all about? About the explosion, federal government gives security agencies 2 weeks to review reports. These are the stories making the round. Who are these neighbors? You live with a neighbor that are rejoicing while you are in travel. Who are these neighbors? A whole lot of stories there. They thought we were burnt to death in the house. Yeah. Please confirm arrest of 9, recovery of 10 corpses. We won't tolerate any further security breaches. Governor of Plateau State is saying this. Tension in Kerenfag as security men kill woman. Shot 3. Oh, gosh. Okay, it's the same story that is coming from the Plateau killing, and that's the only story we are taking from Vanguard. Let us look at the Daily Trust, please. Daily Trust newspaper. Masses are losers of Tinubu's reform. This is coming from Labour. Says federal government running a prodigal economy. President desirous of making life better for all. Information Minister. Now it's time to interrogate renewed hope agenda. Kabri Yusuf. There should be consequences for failure. Shamsuddin Usman. The federal government must listen to citizens' perspectives. Jega. Who is Jega? Okay. Police vigilante gunned down kidnapper, rescue 14 victims in FCT. These are the stories coming from the Daily Trust. $3.3 billion emergency loan. You owe Nigeria's explanation. Atiku tells Tinubu. Woman jailed 7 years for promoting prostitution. Okay. Let's see the last paper this morning, which is the Nigerian Tribune. Review your policies to reduce hardship. NLC tells Tinubu. And that's all we are taking from that paper. Let's now start looking at the stories. Ejike, let me start with you with this NLC calling that all the policies so far coming from Tinubu are anti-masses, anti-Nigerian. It creates more poverty.
Yes, it takes me back to Obasanjo's first tenure as president of Nigeria, when he also brought about his own reform. and a group also told him that his reforms should have human face. That is a replica of what is happening today. You are creating reforms, but these reforms should have human face. It shouldn't be anti-human. It's as if the reforms is against the masses and for those who are in government. Because I can tell you for free that those who are in government don't feel the pains of the masses. So whatever reforms, whatever promises you are making, whatever plans you are making, it should have human face. And don't think no single person can solve the problem of Nigeria in 4 years. So whatever, if you are thinking that you will turn around the fortunes of Nigeria in 4 years or even in 8 years, you should have a rethink. This thing you should break them down into short, medium, and long term, so that. But what he is doing is as if he just only has a short-term plan to turn around Nigeria, and that is why whatever he is doing is biting harder on Nigerians, because it has been biting hard already. So whatever reforms you are creating, just the very first mistake Mr. President made was that statement he made that subsidy is gone. That has been one of our major problems till date.
And he has been spending more money that he would have used on subsidy to cushion the problem of that statement.
Subsidy is still even.
Yes, subsidy is still on.
And so what kind of reforms are you making? Even if you wanted to do away with subsidy, there should have been plans. Okay, if I take away subsidy, this is what I'm bringing in to cushion the effect. That did not happen. That did not happen, and you can imagine what Nigerians are going through. Dollar is over 1,000 naira, and it keeps
1,300.
It keeps going high. The president of Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, Professor Cyril Osifo, was talking about reasons why cost of medication and treatment is on the increase. There are several reasons why he alluded to them, including bad roads, which we also saw on Guardian newspaper. Bad roads included because some persons, even after producing these drugs, in the process of carrying out, going to distribute the drug, their trucks get spoiled on bad roads. So it takes several days for them. Now, sourcing raw material, because most of the raw materials they need in producing these drugs are imported. So what is the dollar exchange to Naira for them to be able to buy these things? And that is why a drug like amoxicillin is sold for 7,500 naira today. Something that was sold for 1,000 naira early last year. But there's nothing he can do except this very part that he's towing. But the part you are towing is killing Nigerians. How long do we have to wait before we begin to reap the benefits of whatever reforms you are projecting? As far as I'm concerned, there's no end in sight.
Oh, that's a bad one. Just want to give us depression this morning. Give us hope now. Should be end in sight. Dominic.
Yes.
What do we do to get out of this? Look at this story. How checkpoints, bad roads, blocked trade, and spike inflation. Because sometimes in our church we be far wrong.
It is a clear indication that the present administration have no plan to cushion the effect of subsidy removal. I was thinking that yes, subsidy removal is a very impressive policy, option. I think if well managed, would have taken us far. Unfortunately, what we are seeing is not a reflection of what we thought, because the idea was that when you remove subsidy, you now divert the fund into the the economy, and things will improve. But we are not seeing any of this. Just like what Senator Blume was saying this morning. He said that those Lagos boys, I don't know whom he referred as Lagos boys, the Lagos boys are around the corridors of power, are advising the president, is wrongly. Okay. none of these IMF policy has helped us. Starting from SAP under Babangida to this subsidy and whatever, none of them has helped us. But
rather they worsen our economy.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know why.
And you have seen this one did not work. They give you another one, you apply it. They give you another one, you apply it. The ones they give you are not working.
The problem is
during OBJ, his foreign policy option was tagged shuttle diplomacy, where he visits several countries, negotiate, and he was able to reduce our debt profile then. The Paris Club, I remember, forgive Nigeria billions of US dollars.
Not even reduce.
So what has this president done to, reduce the debt burden?
When he's borrowing,
if he should adopt shuttle diplomacy just like OBJ did, let him adopt and see how our economy will revive. People are suffering. Those in government may not understand it, but people are suffering. I thought this government will cut costs, just like they said is a renewed hope. But I have seen the operations around there, and nothing has been cut. Instead, they're increasing it for the detriment of the people. It's quite unfortunate.
Renew hopelessness. That's what we are experiencing now. Yes, there's Tinubu was starting to see backing movement of some of those places too.
Yes, I read the news this morning. And I don't understand what Tinubu meant by relocating some of the MDAs and some organs of the CBN to Lagos. We have adopted Abuja to be the headquarters of Nigeria. Let me ask this question. Assuming I have issues to sort out at CBN, I will go and apply for company whatever in Abuja, and I now go to I now have to take a flight to Lagos for the same purpose. Since we have adopted Abuja to be our headquarters, why can't we have the CBN establishment, everything within the FCT? There are this perception I don't want to believe, because it will look somehow sentimental, but obviously it is pointing to that direction, that Tinubu is trying to relocate the FCT back to Lagos, where it was brought from under President Babangida, right?
Yeah.
Actually,
so some of his policies, people are trying to target, just like what Dume said. He said, as a patriotic Nigerian, he have to speak out. Do you understand? He condemned the idea. He was referring to a statement made by one northern chief. And the Arewa Consultative Forum have openly condemned the plan. So it's taking an ethnic dimension. So I think the president has to, take a second look on whatever he's trying to do, because Nigeria is a segment of so many components, okay, and it's a secular state.
it is.
Yeah.
And one needs to be very careful. But these days, nobody is the level of impunity we practice here. It's skyrockets on daily basis. Nobody cares how you feel about anything. They just wake up in the morning and do or say or do whatever they want to do. They don't care what you say. You talk and they do. That's just the situation of things in the country now. Okay, gentlemen, we need to go. I think we have tried our best to see what we could do to let people know that there is hope. We cannot, all of us will not die the same day. Thank you very much, Ejike Abata. Thank you for coming this morning.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, thank you, Comrade Dominic Okabwe, for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you, everybody that watched us.